Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the City of Homestead Special Call City Council meeting to order. Today is July 30th, 2025, and it is now 5:38 p.m. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Avila.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilman Roth.
Here.
Councilman Canaval.
Here.
Councilwoman Bailey.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fletcher.
Here.
Mayor Losner.
Here. All right. Very good. Our first and only order of business tonight is car number 4685, VSGS Agreement for Homestead Regional Park. So, Mr. Pearl, if we go ahead and read the resolution into the record.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the ground lease agreement and development agreement between the City of Homestead and VSGS Facilities, LLC, a Florida limited liability company, for the development, construction, and operation of a multi-purpose sports facility, stadium, sports academy, and related improvements, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Manager, I understand the city has a brief PowerPoint presentation providing an overview, or did we want to have the proposed developer come first?
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Tonight, the administration is happy, pleased, and willing to guide the Council through the presentation of the VSGS agreement for the Homestead Regional Park. It has taken us quite a number of weeks of intense and interesting conversations and discussions and negotiation. I salute the doggedness of the negotiating team on both sides, and more especially the patience that everyone exhibited, and the conviviality as well as the professionalism. Thank you, everyone, for this successful end to a quick, tedious, and compelling negotiation. Something of high complexity was accomplished in a very short period of time. That is unheard of. In a previous negotiation I was involved in the city of Miami, it took close to 18 months. But this team was able to get it through to the finish line in less than 2 months. Having said that, recall that on May 9th, the city administration received a letter of interest from the developer team, and we was presented to council on May 28th as a discussion item and for direction. Mayor and council directed a negotiation to proceed, comprising of myself, the city manager, the city attorney, Mr. Mark Pearl, as well as the Honorable Mayor, Steve Losner. Tonight is the product of that long, winding, and compelling negotiation. And I'm happy to report back that we have a product and a draft lease that we all can live with, subject to any other extenuating circumstances that was going to come up beyond today. Mr. Director? So I'm going to ask the developer team to step forward and provide us a quick overview.
Is the mic on? Is there a mic on? Okay.
Hopefully I used it correctly. Well, good evening, Mayor Losner, members of the City Council, Mr. Manager. My name is Dennis Kerbel. I'm with Ackerman LLP, law offices at 98 Southeast 7th Street, Suite 1100, Miami, Florida 33131. I'm joined by my colleague, Christopher Pinellas, and our client, the CEO of VSGS, Dario Sala, and also part of our team, Jackie Carmona. And before I begin, some acknowledgments are in order. First, we would like to thank the South Dade Economic Development Council for really bringing this all together, and also the South Dade Chamber of Commerce for their support. The Homestead Rodeo Association, who have worked with us, and we have a letter of support from them that I believe is in your package, but if not, we can distribute it to you. And also the Homestead Air Reserve Base, which has been supportive, and we will continue to work closely with them as we go through the land use and permitting processes, assuming that you all approve of our lease tonight. And of course, I'd be remiss if I did not thank City Manager, Mayor Losner, special shout out to Mr. Pearl, But the mayor and the city manager drove a hard bargain and worked tirelessly with us, including through the last weekend, to bring this in for a landing. So, I just want to give you some very brief highlights of the deal for the Homestead Regional Park. First, the lineup of who you're entering into an agreement with. This is a dream team of professional athletes and entrepreneurs with championship experience in soccer, obviously, tennis, basketball, and football. And Mr. Sala, as I mentioned, is here tonight. Now, this is the site plan that we showed you on May 28th. This is what we have been working towards for the last 2 months. And it has not changed from what we had shown you before. Everybody seems to be happy with this site plan. And so we just wanted to show it to you again. This is going to be an excellent project for the city, with lots of public amenities and the stadium hosting both soccer and rodeo and hopefully lots of other events. And just very briefly to highlight the major lease terms, we will be providing guaranteed public access to the field's improvements. We will be paying rent in accordance with the schedule that's provided in the lease. We have shared revenue streams with ticket surcharges, hotel room charges, and shared revenue in naming rights and participation in capital events if there's any kind of assignment or transfer of ownership. There is guaranteed city use of the stadium itself for up to 3 days. There is 7 days of guaranteed use for the rodeo, for the Homestead Championship Rodeo. We know that that's an important annual event for the city, and we want to honor that tradition. And we will be, of course, paying taxes and subject to the construction timeline that's set forth in the lease. And the city will be getting what we believe to be very significant economic benefits, approximately $275 million in the value of the improvements alone, in addition to 4,084 construction jobs, 513 permanent jobs after stabilization. We will, of course, be paying a building permit, and we anticipate significant impact fees to the city and payment of taxes to the city and the county. And we are thrilled to be able to bring this transformational project to Homestead. We are here and available to answer any questions you may have, and we thank you again for the opportunity to do business.
Thank you, Mr. Corbell. Appreciate it. Just for setting the stage, let's go ahead and have any questions or comments from council. Randomly, I'll start. Councilwoman Avila, would you like to kick it off?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to staff and for our mayor for putting forth tremendous effort to make this happen. In light of what I see as probably a home run, pun intended, but a home run for the city of Homestead. I do think that this is a legacy, another legacy for the Losner family, and the East Side will be internally grateful to have this kind of amenity for our districts and citywide. I do appreciate the efforts of our Parks Department working with AYSO, with Keys Gate Charter High School, and other programs so that we can make sure that nobody's left out in the remodeling of what our programming will become as a result of this endeavor. And I think all of the questions that I had, I was able to get those addressed during our briefings. Maybe one question that I'd like to have some clarification on would be regarding the maintenance of the park in general. Are we going to have the same standard and maintenance practice when it comes to fumigating, landscaping, things like that? Is there going to be any difference between the fields that we use more versus less? Or is the entire park going to be taken care of 100% professionally all the time?
The entire park and all of the amenities will be taken care of at the same level by our client because it's a shared use.
Very good. For now, I'm going to rest with that. I'm sure more questions will come up, but I'm very excited to see this happen.
Councilman Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. As my colleagues, I'm just so excited to see this happening. We used to live in the condos right next to the old stadium. We'd walk by there, my wife and I, unused, and the field's underutilized. And this is just great to start getting that focus back to that area. It's wonderful. I did have 3 things I just wanted to bring up that I think are very simple. I understand the hours for the kids to play in the various fields up until 10 o'clock at night. I got it. What about summertime? Or Mr. City Manager, do we have appropriate number of fields and things for the kids? Because they won't be able to play there during the same daytime hours. Do we have enough field space for the young people when school is out? And does that also include like redeveloping Harris Field, in the future? How are we going to work that out?
I'll tell you from the perspective of the lease, the public access schedule is set throughout the year.
Correct,
So
and
they-
it's
so
very
they will have
broad.
access.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, what do we do with summertime
I
kids?
just want to make sure the school that we plan to do the residential academy is going to be in vacation, in holidays as well. So
Excellent.
the community
Okay.
is
So
gonna-
we keep
So
the kids
problem
in
solved.
sports.
Yes.
There you go. The second issue I had, again, very minor. When you look at the games that are played there, frequently they go past 10 o'clock, and they're rain delayed or overtime for a soccer game, what have you. So we are in a place where we can keep the lights on, even though we don't own that park anymore. But we're gonna keep the lights on until that last game is done.
We will, of course, accommodate
And
that.
after that, get out, go home. Kids, go home. Then the final thing that I had, and this may be in the form of a resolution, to ensure that there's some type of a morals clause when it comes to sponsorship. So we don't have the same problem that Miami-Dade County had with the Heat Arena,
I'm familiar with that one.
and I get it, we'll probably end up having, Bud Light Field or what have you, but when something comes of that negative caliber, can we have that in the form of a resolution or agreement to make sure that that is in the contract right up front, that we're just not going to have that kind of problem?
We're amenable to that. I mean, I think I do want to reserve on city Bud Light sponsorship, but I understand where you're coming from, and yes, we're
And
amenable
indeed, I
to
would
that.
visit the Bud Light sponsorship. But you understand where I'm saying. We just don't want to have that embarrassment, not only for your organization, but for the city.
Of course, of course.
So what is our resolution to that? Are we doing a resolution, or are you committing to that in the?
We're committing to you this evening. We will not solicit any kind of, I guess, adult type of sponsor, adult entertainment sponsor.
So I think Councilmember Davis, the administration is going to work with the city attorney's office, of course with the developer team, to ensure perhaps language is inserted in the lease that gives us that ability to make sure that there's no such extraneous naming opportunities that arise. I'm sure they are willing to accommodate that. Mr. Dario Sel stands up, who is the CEO of the
we
team.
always in this negotiation, we work with a common sense first and real world things. And the park is going to be for the kids and the family. So we're not building a casino. So.
Okay. Thank you very, Mr. Mayor, that's all I got. Thank you very much.
Very much. Councilman Ross?
Thank you.
I want to make sure you're not the last one as usual.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, I don't have that much. I like what I see. It's very beneficial financially to the city. Councilman Davis mentioned the hours, and I had mentioned those in my briefings as well. And you mentioned 10 o'clock, but in reality, it's 9 o'clock in the agreement, and I think we need to explore extending those hours during the week because professionals like to get out later at night and play on the fields that are lit at night. And I think the weekend hours at 8 o'clock should be expanded as well. Is there a reason that the cutoff times were set at these times?
We don't have a problem. We also understand at night, at those times, is where the adult league is going to run, the co-ed, soccer, baseball.
And I
adult
believe,
league.
Councilman Roth, that's a reflection of what our general park opening and closing hours are now. Certainly, as from the developer's perspective, they don't contemplate being there at, 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And we can make those adjustments as necessary in the final table. It's certainly not an issue for the proponent. That was kind of a reflection of our in-house practices now.
Sure, no, and I understand that. And as we evolve into this complex, it's going to take some evolution as well to adjust the hours and times. These are all lighted fields. I don't think we had the benefit of any lighted fields
Correct.
except for maybe Harris Field baseball and maybe some softball fields. So I think as long as it's not a restriction, I just want to make sure that the citizens get to utilize the park as much as possible.
Actually, we will encourage that.
So
I appreciate it, but
just
when I
wanna
see it in
add-
writing,
yeah.
I just want to just make sure that it's been brought out. So, I mean, besides that, I enjoy the fact that the rodeo is going to have a new permanent home for the next 75 years. Actually, about 90 years, I think, according
80
to this.
years.
80 years, according to this agreement.
So they'll get about 77.
So, I mean, as long as it works the way it's been mapped out, I'm hoping it's a blessing, and we all benefit from it as a city and as developers. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman.
If I may, before Councilman Canaval jumps in, I think the rodeo folks actually submitted a letter of support. There is also a draft MOU attached to this list that outlines some of the expectations that is going to work
I want
towards.
to take advantage to thank you, the Home Rodeo Association. They were very open and really creative in finding solution, and they can find in BSGS and our SPH project a true partnership. I think we understand the tradition and the culture, and we were open to discuss their high-level term, and we come to an agreement.
And again, we were very mindful, and they've been at the table virtually from the beginning of these discussions.
The MOU should have been in your package. We had it executed and submitted.
It was,
so,
yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you. Councilman Cannonball.
Yes, I'm going to say something today. I am very happy with this deal, very proud of this deal. Okay, this is all positive. I want to congratulate the city manager, Seribe Iketwaba, and his team, and Matt Pearl. Amazing job, man. Okay? Sala, yo te vi jugando, semejante portero. Claro que sí. Okay? Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Okay?
So you're going to have to tell the clerk to do, to do the minutes, what you just said.
Okay.
Is that it? Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I definitely do not envy any of the parties involved in this. I appreciate how far it's come. To the developer, thank you for really looking at the pieces of Homestead that are really important to us. The hours of operation was one of the first issues that I just wanted to make sure that the residents did have those opportunities. And we have amazing talent here in Homestead, so I'm just so excited for all of our youth also to have more opportunities than they've ever been able to have close to home. All my questions were answered during our briefing. Just to continue the puns with knocking things out of the park, just a reminder to staff, the only piece that I'm sad to see not here is that track. So just as you guys are continuing to do amazing work, just please look for land that we might be able to do something with a full-size track.
Hopefully we can make it possible.
Thank you.
We're hoping that is part of the parking parcel.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's available.
Thank you. And let me say that as a result of the meeting that the manager and I had with the charter school representatives recently, this week, yesterday, it appears to be a real possibility. Certainly, the field that was proposed, in the oval, in that option is very appealing to them. It perhaps is programmed largely in space that they are not utilizing, that they have the non-exclusive right to use, but by having the track overlaid there, it could be done with minimal reconfiguration of their stacking and parking and pickup and drop off. So, that's a very recent development could be reimagined into this site plan. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and colleagues. This is an exciting day for Homestead. This is a big deal. This is a $275 million investment into our community, the great city of Homestead, that, at one point was going to be a bond issuance for us to build a park for the east side of town. And now we're going to realize this beautiful facility and the potential benefits for a long time. It's truly remarkable to hear the manager, express his gratitude of the mayor being on the negotiating team, as well as the yeoman's work that Mr. Pearl did. So, along with your team, to come to this agreement. It's an exciting day for Homestead, and I'm just looking forward to you fast-tracking your current schedule to make this bigger, sooner, and better.
There we go.
All my questions were basically answered during our briefing, and had a conversation today with the folks from the charter school as well, and they're just wanting to make sure that they get some access to the facilities as well for the use of their kids. So I think we've come to that agreement, and we're well on our way, and Godspeed. Good job. Thank you.
Okay, so let me give the opportunity for the public to weigh in on this matter that's before us. Do you have anyone online? Okay, let's go ahead and do the online folks.
Yeah, we have Ram online.
All right, Ram, go ahead. You've got the floor. 3 minutes.
All righty, thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure.
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right, excellent. Thank you. I just want to say I too am excited to what's coming to Keysgate, this big park. But I want to address this post that I seen online that's kind of misleading and misinformation, where it's advertising this actual facility, but it's making it seem like it's public access. I wanted to ask two questions to the builders. One, what exactly does the public have access to? And then what exactly is going to happen to the Keysgate kids and the AYSO that are there currently? And when you take over, what's going to happen to them? And then I have a question for the city manager, Dr. Ziri. Does the Homestead Rodeo have exclusive access to this facility for rodeo, and why? Thank you. Have a good day.
If you don't mind, if you'd go ahead and address the inquiry as to, I think the question was the Keysgate School access as well as the AYSO.
So what we have in the lease is guaranteed minimum public access for the public to use, and this is, by the way, Exhibit H of the lease. The multi-purpose, there are multi-purpose field, basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts, one of the baseball fields, a volleyball court, of course the playground, and there'll be some restroom facilities and field parking parcels. Those are available during non-peak hours for city residents. That's the minimum guaranteed, depending on how the schedules work out. We'll be managing the park and can accommodate other uses at other times, depending on how it gets utilized during our program. And then, in addition, there are during our peak hours, there are during the peak hours for the city. There are 3 multi-purpose fields, 3 basketball courts, 4 tennis courts, 1 baseball field, 8 pickleball courts, a volleyball court, and of course the playground and restroom and parking. So,
and implicit in that is just access to all of the passive open areas.
Right. Of course.
And certainly, Ram, I just want to add that the Keysgate Charter School is fully aware of these access schedules. There will be public access in the earlier part of the day to a limited part, and you can go online and to the agenda packet. It's Schedule H, is that correct?
Yes.
That lays out the current timeline, as well as city has the full access during legal holidays, all weekend, and there was a representation here tonight that the proposed developer would not have training activities that folks in their potential residential academy would be out, concurrent with the general summer schedule.
Right.
So that, pretty much any time during the day, during summertime, there would not be competing activities. Mr. Manager?
So thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the question regarding rodeo, it's very simple. Currently, the rodeo folks are located at the Harris Fields, and the city has been exploring alternative locations for them for a while. This is a win-win situation where we intend to have part of the city days to have the rodeo folks relocate to the stadium at cost, but no rent. But they have to bear the operation and maintenance costs of that area when they are there. And that will afford the city the opportunity to release the Harris Field for public use. Right now, the location where the rodeo folks are staying, 7 days or 10 days in a year, are restricted for their use. So that will let the city release that place, refurbish, remodel, and upgrade it for ancillary sporting events days. So really, there's no loss to the public benefit component. The rodeo folks have already confirmed the intent to pay for any utilities and other operation and maintenance costs during those rodeo days. So it's not really as if they're getting it entirely free. The cost is cost shared between the rodeo and the developer team. So to that extent, I think it's a very worthy and correct position of the city public benefit criteria and package to allow them to move over to this location. And that will solve a lot of problems for everyone. Thanks.
And Ram, let me just add, I think we skipped over the AOISO. Certainly, there has been, clear enunciation and provision for their needs. That this traditional league activity with youth soccer through AYSO will continue.
Yes,
So
that was a part of the discussion during the city's peak hours.
I think we submitted and transmitted a copy of the AYSOs that we currently have business with to the team. They're going to reach out to them for programming coordination.
Yes.
And currently, the AYSOs have some kind of agreement with the cities where they rent facilities and have schedules apportioned to them. We will look forward to a continued mutually beneficial relationship that will continue with the AYSO. Perhaps additional enhancements, which we look forward to.
Yes.
Thank you, Ram. Is there anyone else on?
Okay, just one more follow-up question. Is the builder still going to commit to the scholarships to local kids every year? And if so, how many? And that's it.
No, we've come up with a different financial benefits package, which is what's in the lease.
The short answer is no. That has evolved into other financial aspects of the package.
Okay.
That's awful hard to pin down. Is there anyone else online? Okay, Mr. Ventura, do you need to put anything on the record?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just a quick thank you, Mayor and City Manager, for reaching out to the air base well in advance to listen to our concerns, make sure we were brought in very early, and we appreciate that, and we were able to go through any concerns we might have had, and that was terrific. And I also want to thank the folks at VSGS for agreeing to work with us, and they listen to our concerns. They know what concerns we have, and they're going to continue, I know, to work with us through things like stadium lighting as the time comes and we progress. So we just wanted to come out here to say thank you. We're happy it's going to work out for the city and for all the airmen that work out there at the base as well, and a big win for everybody. So thank you all, and that's all I had.
Thank you. Appreciate your involvement in this. All right, is there anyone, Mr. Bass, did you wish to speak?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Jason Bass. We do an address 17895 Southwest 296th Street, Homestead, Florida 33030, Viking Investment Group. Congratulations. This project looks amazing. I think it's going to be a huge asset for the city. That's a big win. It's a great property for the use. I mean, it's a sports complex and it should be developed as such. My issue, and I'd like to go on record today, is the 160 acres that's included in this proposal project that gives these operators the first right of refusal, I think, on 160 acres. We've been working on the project down on that mitigation property, the 530 acres, for about a year now. We have a lot of time, money, energy, and effort involved in that. That's a huge, there's over 400 acres down there inside the urban development boundary line that the city owns. It's an extremely valuable asset, extremely. And by taking 160 acres of it off the table, it diminishes the value of the property greatly, and it all but halts anybody's ability to move forward with the due diligence that we have been doing. We have over $100,000 with our environmental team, which is, I would say, the best team definitely in South Florida, the state, maybe the country. Michael Goldstein and Ed Swaycon and the Terracon Group. And we got a lot of money with those guys. So what I would ask is that if it's not a complete deal breaker for this team, because I believe this is a huge asset, and I know you guys have a lot of hard work in this, but there's also a huge asset to the south of this, a very huge asset. We have a huge project plan for down there that we're working on putting together and getting in front of you guys. Some people are aware of it, some aren't. We're not getting into that tonight. But I don't think, and I don't think that it should be a make or break for the 160 acres for these people. This all happened very fast. Congratulations on fast tracking this thing. Holy cow, warp speed, right? And I don't see also how, knowing what I know about that property, what it's going to take to finish just getting to where we're at, to come up with our plan for mitigation of other properties and everything. Once we get into that, the price goes up and it's astronomical. And I don't see how any use that I've seen up on there, which is great, could be financially feasible to do on this property. Because when you start calculating in fill prices and all the remediation, the purchasing of other properties and everything like that, I don't understand why that 160 acres needs to be involved in this project. It's not beneficial for the city. It diminishes an asset that the city has. And although I'm completely supportive of this project, everybody is. It's a great project. I'm not here to do anything to harm this project. But I do need to protect my interest and my partner's interest. And I'm also looking out for the city and the residents because, again, like I said, you guys got over 400 acres down there inside the UDB in Dade County, and it's all priceless. So I'm on the record, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. All right, and we may come back and address that, but let's take the rest of any public comment. Long time no see, but give us your name and address for the record, if you would.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Dr. Zeri. My name is Daniel Verdier. I'm the head of schools over at Keysgate Charter School. Just want to thank you for hearing me for a couple of minutes here, and thanks, Mr. Fletcher, for taking my call today. I am here to advocate for the 2,000 families that we do represent for the city of Homestead and for our students that we have at Keysgate Charter School. I will first begin by congratulating everyone. This is a great opportunity, and I think this is wonderful for the city, and we're really proud to be able to be supporters of this and to be behind this project. We do feel like we were a little bit late in the game of being involved in kind of some of the conversations that were happening. So a couple of quick questions that I have for the council is, one, as us having part of a non-exclusive lease with the city that does utilize some of the space that the park will go on, how will this company work with us to kind of come to a spot of mutual agreement to have access or access points to be able to have our students utilize that space during both peak and non-peak. And the second is, with having 3,000 students, obviously safety is a huge priority to us, and we know with construction it is not always easy. We do have spaces that we are utilizing in the back now, and we just want to know, is there a plan for assurance to make sure that all workers are vetted and how, excuse me, and how the security measures will be put in place to ensure that our students, as they play in those back areas, are safe. And then finally, my last part would be just our focus on being able to have access points from the school. We know that there will be access points to the park. Logistically, to move students from point A to point B. So what we ask is that the company or the developers do work with us. We are very amenable and very willing to work in order to make this project successful, but that they work with us to be able to ensure that our students at Keysgate are being given the fair opportunity to utilize this space which it is developed for students and children and kids. So thank you all. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I think you raise a couple of points that we need to clarify here. You've created something on the record, and I think we need to clarify that. You talk about, or talk in terms that the park is proposed to include areas upon which you have a non-exclusive right of access, and I'm assuming you're talking about that, what's been called the parking area. Is that correct? I know, I think we have two sets of documents with Keysgate High. We've got the lease that defines a specific piece of property.
Correct.
And a secondary document that grants a non-exclusive parking right on a parcel line generally north of the school.
There's the one north of the school. The one I'm referring to is for the baseball dormitories that were converted. There's also a recreational area that was identified in that lease. Again, my legal team is working through those documents to take a look at the spot that it's in reference to. But that's the particular area that we're referring to.
Again, it's my understanding, and again, subject to final surveys, that the park, I mean, legally, without your consent, cannot include areas under your master lease, your school lease.
I'm not sure of that.
Well, and you know, and we need to clarify that.
Right.
That you know, the amended, the proposed site plan does not include any area under which you have the exclusive right to operate the school.
Correct.
That's the first issue.
Copies of the lease agreement, if I could leave the copy with them.
Let me defer to Mr. Pearl, our attorney.
So the survey for this project was, when the surveyor that the developer sent out, they looked at your lease agreement, and based on the legal description, that's how they crafted the boundaries for their site plan. To the extent that we need to make adjustments, and we'll look at that, and then I'll work with them and we'll accommodate that.
Yep.
But it was the configuration that the developer came up with was based on the review of your lease and the legal that's included within that lease agreement.
Okay.
In short, the ultimate build-out will not encroach upon your leasehold interest.
Okay.
There. Now, and I know you're talking about access points, because at this point you can walk from the school property out into the park.
Correct.
And there didn't appear to be, but let me ask it if they can answer me. Is there a contemplation of any permanent fencing or walls that would prevent direct access from the back of the school into the park?
No, and we haven't gone to that level of detail of the construction drawings.
Very good. What's that? Yeah, that's at site plan level.
Yeah.
So, you know, and certainly, you know, all of those interests will be taken into account as best they can.
Of course, and of course we know we need to work together to realize the track on the parking parcel. So
Right. Yeah, that's a whole separate issue, you know, that's kind of sprung out of our recent meeting, I guess yesterday. that, that's a multi-party discussion.
We're looking forward to being in touch. Yeah.
Okay, anyone else?
Good evening, Brandy Ramirez, 2231 Southeast First Street. First, want to say congratulations to the mayor. Your Losner legacy is living on. This is a great project. I definitely want to say thank you to the council, too, for supporting it tonight, and also to the staff. What a great job on this. Thank you for being a mayor, answering the questions and getting clarifications for everyone that was here, especially Keysgate and the AYSO. I do want to schedule a meeting with the mayor and vice mayor soon, reference community concerns, and also with the chief, so I will be reaching out. But I also wanted to give an opportunity to our deputy city manager to clarify. Recently, mayor and council had a presentation reference the rodeo, and it was given by CES Consulting LLC, and just wanted to confirm if this is a company that she owns or does not.
A presentation by the rodeo?
No, it was a city, it had a city logo on it. You guys had just received it for a presentation based on the cost and things that were going to happen with the rodeo. And on the bottom of it, it says CES Consulting LLC.
Can I answer that
So
question?
just want to give an opportunity that she's not the owner of the company.
So thank you, Brandon Ramirez, Miss, for the question.
You're welcome.
CS Consultant was retained by my office
Okay.
to prepare a feasibility study which preceded whatever we're discussing tonight. That was predicated on the fact that we were exploring opportunities to find a permanent home for the rodeo folks in conjunction and as a consequence of a directive from the Board of Miami-Dade County Commission that had asked City of Homestead to work with a tri-party arrangement with the Board of County Commission, the Homestead Rodeo Association, the Speedway, and the agricultural community to find a permanent home for them. In order to advance the feasibility study, we retained the consulting firm of CES Consultants, which Sunbase, under the Florida State Secretary of State of, you can confirm that CES Consultant is owned by the principal, Mr. Rudy M. Ortiz, a professional engineer of good standing, who has worked in the South Florida area for more than 25 years. They prepared a feasibility study. It was submitted to Miami-Dade County, and it was accepted by the Board of County Commission. Personally, I was at the meeting with folks from the rodeo as well as the Speedway to present the report. So it had nothing, to my knowledge, to do with the deputy city manager.
Perfect. I always like to give you guys the opportunity to clarify that because I don't like the misinformation to be out in the community, and I think it's only fair to give people that opportunity. So thank you for making sure that was clarified, and continue the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further from council? Well, hang on. Any further public comment? Very quickly, let me just ask, since it's on the record and it is not insignificant, with respect to the proposer, is at this point the right of first refusal a hard and fast deal breaker? Is there something that we could back up and look at during the due diligence period?
It is important to us to have the opportunity to expand the program, and so it doesn't kick in unless we pay the fee by the commencement date. So there's still a few months to work that out before it would even become an issue.
So right now it's really unencumbered.
That's correct.
So long as you're in the your inspection period.
That's correct. All we would ask is that we have a seat at the table because obviously we have an interest in being able to expand the property.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Pinellas, did you have anything to add?
No, it was just, Mr. Mayor, council members, for the record, Christopher Pinellas, Associate Ackerman LLP, law offices 98 Southeast 7th Street, City of Miami, Florida. As my colleague, Mr. Capel, mentioned, my client's making a significant investment into this area. Obviously, as a reflection of that long-term partnership, we want to continue to invest and continue to partner with the city moving forward. And in furtherance of that goal, we would like to maintain at least the ability, right, to have a seat at the table and further those conversations and look at how this parcel could play into an expansion of our project and the recreational facilities that we're providing. So at this time, it is something that we want to keep on the document. We want to further those conversations, and we're happy to meet with the other proposal and the other party that's interested and see how we can collaborate. We're certainly not trying to push anybody out of the picture, certainly not trying to be a problem for any projects or efforts that are ongoing. We're just looking for a little bit more additional space to continue our investments in this community and make sure that we can flourish and continue to expand with the city of Homestead. Thank you.
All right, so, with that, I think I shouldn't say for the most part, I feel that your side of the table is always dealt in good faith. We'll provide you with the contact information and hope that tomorrow morning you can begin those discussions and mesh your interests so that, the issues that Mr. Bass brought forward as to the bigger picture or the value of that parcel while preserving the concerns you have, I think can all be met.
We'd be happy to meet with them. Absolutely.
All right. So, let me add my thanks to everyone. Certainly, the other side who has all dealt diligently and in good faith. Certainly to the city manager, and again, I'll add the kudos to Matt Pearl, who's given up at least 2 weekends, full weekends that I know of. Many late night, I can think of a few times where the manager and Mr. Pearl and I were on the phone at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night after several other after hours calls. I appreciate that. It's been fun. It's been grueling, but fun. Most importantly, from our side of the table, this contract is the culmination of the learning experience from 3 or 4 decades of a lot of mistakes and missteps that have been taken by the city. We first had the conversation and gave the manager the authority to go out and begin negotiating. I certainly articulated that first and foremost was public access, and we have accomplished that. These lease numbers, as fiduciaries for the public, these lease numbers, these dollar amounts have not been pulled out of our ears. We had our financial consultants. We came to some agreement as to what we believe the property is worth as it sits, what a fair return is to the city, balancing that with the contribution that these folks are going to make a significant equity contribution to. It's staggering with the amenities that are coming sooner rather than later. And I think equally important is the fact that, from those learning experiences, we have hard and fast and very clear obligations on both sides of this deal. That this is not another Lale or any number of those situations. Our obligations and our rights, strict timelines, and are very clear. We all understand them. We all understand our goals here. And, what's the saying that if nobody walks away entirely happy, it's probably a good deal. And I think that's where we are. You always want to second guess that maybe you could have gotten more money or some more days or some more time. But let's face it, the public is getting a world-class park with no real outlay on the city's part. So I want to thank everyone from both sides who spent untold, I say untold, and I'll joke and say untold until we get their fee statement for this month. But it's been quite an ordeal. Our manager talked about 18 months to do the Miami Freedom Park. This has been accomplished in less than 18 weeks. quite an undertaking. But I think it's a reflection of two teams that really weren't trying to get the better of each other, that were driving toward a fair and equitable and reasonable deal, and that's why we are here. Not to compare the scope of our property or the intensity of the construction of our project to Freedom Park, but it's no less important. I mean, this project is no less important, if not more important, to us and the people of the city of Homestead than Miami Freedom Park is to the city of Miami and its residents and the impact that it will have. I mentioned earlier, I think this is a point today where we have finally, as a city, turned the corner and can begin to move forward. The manager and I sometimes feel that his daily regimen is to dig out of a hole that was 2 or 3 decades in the digging. And here we are that we're kind of climbing out and beginning to make progress. And I am very thankful and grateful for the opportunity to have been part of this. Finally, I'd like to say, see, I told you so. The county site was not the site. From day one in the commission chambers, I told you, Homestead is where you need to be. So let me have my moment of I told you so. Only with the expertise and the professionalism of our team and our city manager and the vision and the commitment of each and every one of you. So, since it is in your district, Mr. Vice Mayor, would you like to make the motion to approve?
I will make the motion to approve.
Move to approve by Vice Mayor Fletcher. Second. I know there's no such thing, but I would love to co-second it with you. Yeah. No thirds. All right, so
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sorry, before we proceed with the vote, and I think we're all happy with where we're going, I'm going to ask for a slight amendment to the resolution. If I can have a motion to grant the city manager and I to make some non-financial amendments to address several of the issues that were up here tonight for a signature. I think I have a short list relating to the limitation on the naming, addressing any issues with the legal description through the inspection period. If you can delegate that authority, I think.
Is that implicit in your motion, Mr. Vice Mayor?
I revised my motion to include that.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. City Attorney, inclusive of the time, instead of 9 p.m., to see if we can
Yes, I have.
extend it a little bit.
I mean, given it's a lighted facility, maybe we don't. Isn't it necessary to limit the public's access? Yeah. All right. There is nothing further. Let's have a roll call vote.
Councilman Canaval? Yes. Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Roth? Yes. Councilwoman Bailey? Yes. Councilwoman Avila? Yes. Vice Mayor Fletcher?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you all very, very much, and we look forward to being good partners with you.
So, Mayor, before you close, I just want to take the opportunity to extend my deep appreciation to my staff, Ms. Kimar Brown, Ms. Crystal Oliveira, the Parks Director, the Finance Director, and Josh Rios in my office, as well as Eileen and Jackie, and everyone that worked on this project. It's been a very, very tasking exercise. So my kudos to all of you. And of course, the police chief who has volunteered to reach out to you guys to seek perhaps some kind of incorporation in public safety concerns once we get into the weeds. Thank you, everyone, for your support. And of course, the non-city entities, the Homestead Rodeo Association, the EDC, and Mr. Larry Ventura, as well as the members of the public that quipped in with ideas and suggestions as we walk through this. Thank you, lastly but not the least, Mr. City Attorney, Mr. Matt Perot.
Yeah. I know our stellar CEO of Homestead Hospital is here. Or he was. There he is. There's Ken. Thank you for listening in. And just finally, I think this this is going to establish a new level of trust in the community. When this starts coming out of the ground in early March or earlier, real sign of progress. Clemente, did you have?
Yeah, I want to sponsor the back. Yes, I want to sponsor the Back to School Bash this coming Saturday at Lawson Park. It's going to cost us like $750. So.
And that's scheduled for this week in Lawson
Yeah,
Park, yes.
yeah.
Very good. All right, Mr. Manager, anything further?
No, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members, for your great appreciation and for your support tonight.
Mr. Attorney?
Nothing from me, just a collective thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you. All right, I think I heard a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?